How's it going, you guys? AZPlayer21 back again with another episode here in our UFC save in WMMA 5. I think this is episode number 26, if I'm not mistaken. So the last time that I saw you guys was for UFC 253, Adesanya versus Costa. If you haven't already seen that, go ahead and check out that episode. A lot of stuff happens in that episode. Israel Adesanya defending his middleweight title against Paulo Costa. Amanda Nunes defending her bantamweight title against Aspen Ladd. Shogun Rua beating Thiago Santos. Stun Gun Kim beating Leonardo Santos. And Beneil Dariush beating Renato Moicano Carneiro. They're the results of the prelims as well. And so today we have for you UFC on ESPN, CHIESA versus Burns. Michael Chiesa facing off against Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns actually facing against Tyron Woodley this weekend. I'm going to be watching that live. That should be pretty interesting to see. Number 9 in the UFC as of right now, coming off a win over Jeff Neal at Chiesa versus Edwards. So that should be pretty interesting to watch. Main card of that fight. Fantastic. It won fight of the night. Awesome. So Gilbert Burns facing off against Michael Chiesa, who's coming off a win over Leon Edwards. And originally we thought Chiesa might be fighting for a title, but kind of got overshadowed by GSP coming back, who is now fighting for a title. And if we take a look at the rankings at the welterweight division, you can clearly see that Chiesa's number 4. Tyron Woodley is, out for almost a year. GSP will be fighting Kamaru Usman next. So should he beat Gilbert Burns, he'll more than likely be fighting for the title next. And if Burns wins, I mean, maybe he's only one win away, I think, from a title shot. But Chiesa definitely would be next should he win. Ponzinibbio fighting against Colby Covington. I mean, maybe he's next if Chiesa loses and Ponzinibbio wins. Also in the welterweight division, Nate Diaz will be fighting against Jorge Masvidal as the main event of an ABC card. That should be pretty interesting. And then Gunnar Nelson fighting Leon Edwards. Vicente Luque fighting, to be announced. I'm pretty sure that's going to be Ben Askren, or is it Wonder Boy? Perry's fighting Wonder Boy. Where's Luque? Luque's fighting Askren, yeah. All right. Take a look at the rest of the rankings here. A lot of booked fighters already. Cody Stamann getting into the top 10 at bantamweight. All right. So let's check our emails. We don't have any. Let's go ahead and check our news, see if there's anybody that we might be interested in signing. So this Magomed Magomedov, 18-1, and I've already offered him a contract, so we should be able to get that guy. And other than that, doesn't look like there's anything else. But we want to send a couple people down to Invicta, so let's do that really quickly. So we're gonna set this to max fights. Like 10. And there's probably going to still be a good amount. And we'll set it to female, obviously. Alright, so she's already got a fight booked. So let's see. Alyssa Cron, she's already lost. 5-3. Yeah, we'll send her to Invicta. Amanda Bobby Cooper, yep, definitely. She's fine. Cheyenne Buys, yeah, she can go down to Invicta as well. Sharapenko, she's coming off a win, so she could stay. She's got a fight booked up already. She's coming off a win. Whitmire, she's ranked, technically, but she's not ranked in our division. We can go ahead and send her down. I mean, it's a loss to Amanda Rebus, so that's not necessarily the worst loss in the world. But yeah, still, I'd rather she kind of work on her game. Wozniak will send down. Spencer, that's fine. She can stay. Kish, she can stay as well. Pop-Tart Robbins can go down. Watanabe has a fight scheduled. Wochik, 0-1. She can go down. Okay, Hansen can go down. Procopio, she can stay. 6-1's an okay record. Check, she's only 3-0-1. She can go down. Fabian, she already has a fight schedule. She'll probably end up just getting straight up released. Ostovich, she has a fight scheduled. Shanna Young, she can stay. She's coming off a loss. She can go down. Yeah, she's already got a fight scheduled. And then Tracy Cortez. Alright. So now males with max fights of like 7. Not a bunch, but there's a couple. Saki's already got a fight scheduled. So this guy, Jackrabbit Berkman, I'm not 100% sure what I want to do with him, because he has strong marketability, low-level national in Australia. So I might just take a card to Australia and put him on there, because he'd be worth it to have him on a card in Australia. Maybe build him up, but he's 0-0. So, and I don't want to just release him because he's on 3,500 for 5 fights. So that'd be like $16,000 I'm throwing down the drain essentially. So I'll keep him around. Other than that, it doesn't look like anybody else was hired by mistake. A couple people's have a loss to their name, but yeah, everyone else is fine. So we're good to go there. Everything else is taken care of. I don't think I can. Yeah, I can't really do anything else as far as like the matchmaking. We're all good on that front. So let's go ahead and get things started with CHIESA versus Burns. Taking place in Ontario. And let's kick it off. Rogerio Bontorin taking on Askar Askarov in the flyweight division. We could just get this loaded. There we go. So Bontorin heavily favored at -310. Askarov undefeated at 11-0-1. He made the weight, but he missed by a pound technically. And Bontorin ends up getting the win, 56 seconds, and a round number 1 via strikes. TKO victory. And Bontorin, apparently the camera loves him. At the featherweight division, Gavin Tucker, 11-1, taking on Stephen Ocho Peterson, 18-9. I'm gonna guess Tucker takes this one. And he does via split decision. Cole the Coltrane Smith taking on Ayman Zahabi. Of course, fighting at a TriStar gym. His father or his brother runs the gym over there. 7-1 versus 7-2. And Zahabi gets the win via unanimous decision. And he's calling out Bruno Gustavo da Silva, saying it'd be a tough challenge, but one that he's up to the task for. Marc-Andre Barriol taking on Punahele Soriano. 7-0, taking on 11-4. I'm going to guess the young man via maybe TKO. And he wins via unanimous decision. Rated as a decent fight. And he'd like to fight Brendan Allen next. Alright, the Iron Pole, Mariusz Kajaszkiewicz? Sure. Versus John the Welsh Wrecking Machine Phillips. 7-0 versus 22-9-1. I'm going to go ahead and pick the young kid. Not young necessarily, but 7-0. And he does get the win via submission. 4:44 in round number 3, so pretty late into the fight. And he celebrates winning his debut for the UFC. Pepperoni Nipples, Tanner Boser taking on Jargis Man Mountain Danho. 6-2, or not 6-2, 6-2, fighting against someone who's 6'3", has a reach of 75 inches. Didn't even know that you could see that. Huh, okay. The Canadian fighting against a Syrian. Boser is the favored fighter, and he gets the win via split decision. And he'd like to fight Brett Martin next. Kyle the Monster Nelson taking on Alon Cruz. 8-3 is Cruz taking on 13-3 Kyle Nelson. Nelson is the favored fighter, and he gets the win via split decision. All right, Khalil Roundtree taking on Sam Alvey, as we are now into the main card of Chiesa versus Burns live on ESPN. 9-4-1 is Roundtree taking on 34-13-1 of Sam Alvey, heavy favorite, and he does get the win via TKO. He has some respect for Roundtree, respects his skills. All right, Alligator Alexis Davis taking on Jillian the Savage Robertson in the flyweight division. Robertson heavily favored at 7-4. Alexis Davis is 19-11, and Robertson gets the win via rear naked choke in round number 1. Improves to 8-4. Randa Quiet Storm Marcos taking on Virna Jandiroba. In the strawweight division, Jandiroba small favorite at 16-1. Randa Marcos 10-8-1, the Canadian. And Jandiroba gets the win via submission due to an armbar, 1 minute and 2 seconds into round number 1. And she'd like to fight Angela Hill next. So she's probably moving into like the top 12, I'd imagine. So that's a good win for her. In Ontario, so we have another Canadian in Sheldon Westcott, 9-3-1, taking on the young Mickey Gall at 6-2. I'm going to guess Mickey Gall via submission, and he loses to the hometown boy Westcott due to unanimous decision. And I don't know about Mickey Gall. If he has a little bit more popularity, he might be worth holding on to, but I think he's on a 2-fight losing streak at this point. Co-main event time, Chad the Disciple Laprice taking on Jack the Hammer Marshman. Marshman heavily favored at -310, 23-9, facing off against 14-4, 2-inch advantage for Marshman in the height department in the welterweight division, and Marshman gets the win via unanimous decision. Marshman shows praise for Laprice, as we are now at the main event of the evening. Michael Maverick Chiesa from Spokane, Washington, 18-4, taking on 19-3 Gilbert Dorino Burns in the welterweight division. 3-inch height advantage for Chiesa, 73-inch reach to a 72-inch reach. So it looks like Chiesa has the advantage as far as on paper, but he is the underdog. Chiesa looking for a trip takedown, can't get it. Burns looking for a takedown, he can't get it. Chiesa looking for a takedown as well. Alright, he gets Burns on the ground, gives up his back. Chiesa trying to get hooks in. Uh-oh, rear naked choke applied. Burns is fighting it off though. Another rear naked choke applied, and he gets it. Wow, so first round submission victory for Michael Chiesa over Gilbert Burns in pretty dominating fashion. And he would like to fight George St. Pierre next, but that is not next for Michael Chiesa. What is next for Michael Chiesa? Oh boy, attendance of only 946. We probably lost money on this card, I'd imagine. But nonetheless, what was I about to say? Yeah, so he's not fighting George St. Pierre next. He is going to fight for the welterweight championship. That is going to be his next fight. Alright, so we'll give the fight of the night to Alvey and Roundtree, unless there was a better one. There was not. And then as far as Jandiroba will get a performance bonus, and Bontorin will get a performance bonus. So a little bit of a profit, $29,000 profit. Highest paid fighter was Chiesa at $79,000. So as long as we keep making profit, we can, work towards, the creation of the UFC network, which will make everything a whole lot easier for me, both aesthetically and, making more money. And then from that point, we can set up, Invicta and ROC, or do whatever we need to do as far as, setting up those child those child promotions. That'll be like our feeder leagues. So we'll go ahead and update our rankings. We'll go ahead and take a look at our emails, re-sign anybody we need to re-sign. And then after this, I think, I'm trying to remember, I can't remember exactly what the next fight card is, but we'll go ahead and work towards it. The game has been simulating a lot quicker now that we're a little bit, deeper into the game. Gentleman Olsen. I can't wait for, these regen fighters to have a couple more fights under their belt so I can, have them in Invicta. The female fighters mainly, just because male fighters, they'll come. I won't necessarily have to worry about that. It's the female fighters that I'm not worried about, but just, I want to make sure that my female divisions get filled up with, and not just filled up with like just no names, like quality contenders that I feel, can contribute to the UFC. Like that's why you just saw me send those a couple of those girls down to Invicta. Not because I don't want them in the UFC, but I want them to get a little bit more seasoning, maybe improve their record a little bit more, and then pull them up after they've had like a couple of wins under their belt. Hope you guys are enjoying the series. Hope you guys are enjoying this episode. Hope you guys are enjoying Shadow Ridge Fighting Championships. If you guys haven't already checked out an episode of that, I am also doing a save, a local to global save. That's all streamed. That's all, like, there's no editing. There's no, like, me stopping or doing anything like that. I just keep going, and you're literally seeing me do everything as far as that save. So stay on the lookout for that if you like, watching streams or watching 3-hour videos for that matter. Alright, so let's go and update our rankings. Nothing at heavyweights. Light heavyweight, Sam Alvey moves up. Cleo Roundtree moves down. Middleweight, there's no movement. Welterweight, Chiesa moves above GSP, interestingly enough. So GSP is fighting for the title next. He got a win over Colby Covington, but Chiesa is definitely next in line after him. And then was there anything else? Nelson and Masvidal move up. Rory McDonald. So yeah, we did sign Rory McDonald from Bellator. His contract was expiring. He's on a 2-fight winning streak. And so we signed him. Not from Bellator, actually, from PFL. Yeah. So we do have Rory McDonald back. And someone had mentioned maybe a fight card in Canada that he main events. Or someone had mentioned him versus GSP. That could be a possibility. But he's now number 11. Everyone else moves down as results. Alright, at lightweight there is no movement. Featherweight, no movement. Bantamweight, no movement. At flyweight, Bontorn is now number 5. After that win over Askarov, who was only number 16, so that's not super telling necessarily. Ortiz and Zumagulov move down. No movement at featherweight. At bantamweight, Faith McMaw is in at number 22. Women's flyweight, Jillian Robertson moves all the way up to number 7, following her win over Alexis Davis, who was number 14. And then Calderwood, Barber, Maya, Modafferi, Barella move down. Van Zant and Porta move up, and Davis is down to number 16. Strawweight, Jandaroba up into the top 10, up to number 8. Jan and Waterton move down. So let's see who Jandaroba is. She's fought twice in this save. Yeah, on the 249 card and here against Calvillo and Marcos. So wins over a couple top 10 opponents. So she's definitely setting herself up for maybe a fight against somebody in the top 10 again. Jandaroba having a pretty good time. Let's see. Casey, Aguilar, Sosa, Calvillo, Rodriguez, Kolokevich, and Herrig move up. Marcos all the way down to number 21. And that is it. All right, let's go ahead and check our mail. Gilbert Burns needs to be re-signed. Love that. So what was he on? He was on 25K a fight, and now he'll be on about 8,000. I'll give him 9K then. Michael Chiesa needs to be re-signed. How much was he on? He was on. So this is another one of those rare occurrences where he was on 34,000, and now he's going to be making a little bit more. But I mean, he's worth it. Can be cut for free after suffering a loss. No, we'll give you 3 guaranteed fights. That's fine. Mickey Gall. So he was on 25K a fight. He'll definitely be making less now. So I'll give him 2 guaranteed fights. But then after that, if he loses, he's probably donezo. Sam Alvey needs to be re-signed. Mid-level national Sam Alvey. Look at that. A couple consecutive wins in this save. Ed Herman and Khalil Roundtree. Now the number 14 light heavyweight. Khalil Roundtree, I don't know about him. Has a win over Justin Ledet. I mean, mid-level regional. Number 22 light heavyweight in the world, apparently. So we'll go ahead and sign him up. 2 more fights. Yeah, 2 more guaranteed fights is fine. Gavin Tucker coming off a win. We can go ahead and re-sign him. Looks to be doing pretty well for himself. Win over Steven Peterson. 2 more guaranteed fights for him. Iman Zahabi coming off a win. His first fight of the save. Give him 2 more guaranteed fights. Jandaroba coming off a couple of wins. Again over Calvillo and Marcos. So she wants 2,500. How much was she on? She was only on 2,000, so she's technically getting a little bit of an increase. Alright, Punahele Soriano. Couple straight wins. 2-0 in the UFC. Still not relatively known. Couple more fights for him. Alright, that is all that we needed to do as far as re-signing. Now let's see if there's anyone that we're interested in here. Iveta Durete. Who are you? 2-0. I mean, we can sign her and then send her back down. I'd rather make sure that she's, you know, in our grasp and then just send her down to Invicta. Ooh, she's not exclusive. Okay, so she won't sign an exclusive deal, so we'll just hold off. Anthony Taylor. Anthony Pretty Boy Taylor. I actually met this guy. I went to the Bellator fights and I actually met him. Now 9-5. Mid-level regional, but not the best record still. Yeah, we'll hold off on him for now. Gabby Garcia retires. Rio Hada, flyweight. Could use some more flyweights, obviously. Let's see if we can get Rio Hada in here. Invicta are putting on another show. Chris Honeycutt, middleweight champion of LFA. Yeah. 14-3-1. Couple straight wins for him. I mean, regional champion, mid-level regional. Why not? Give him 2 fights. So Zabatella, atom weight. She's only 4'11". She can fight at strawweight. She can fight at strawweight, but she'd be criminally undersized. And I don't have any plans for an atomweight division as of yet. And she's only low-level regional, so I'd rather she kind of just stay with Invicta. Not sure what I want. Look at, she's jacked. Look at her. I'd rather she stay with Invicta, simply just because I don't necessarily have a atomweight division to really do anything with right now. so we'll hold off on her for now. Amy Cadwell Montenegro, 4-1 in Invicta. Coming off a win over Ashley Cummins. 2 wins in Invicta. .36 years old, couple of wins. I mean, strawweight division, we can always use more in the strawweight division, coming off a couple consecutive wins. Tyler Ray, 7-2, 27 years old. He has a lot of room to grow, and he's coming off a loss, so no. Angela Samaro, no thank you. Kyra Batara, is he coming off? She's coming off a loss, I'm guessing. Yeah, she is. Kurosawa, probably another flyweight, possibly. And he's coming off a loss, so no thank you. Checo, Marissa Caldwell, yikes. Dylan O'Leary, he's 0-6. Okay. Amber Beatdown Brown. Yeah, the rest of these fighters aren't necessarily going to be the best. So yeah, looks like we're done there. Alright, let's go ahead and set up our broadcasters for Choi versus Dawodu, which is our next fight card. Not exactly going to be the highest drawing card, I'd imagine. This is going to be the weakest card that I've ever put on as far as this save. Doo-ho Choi, the Korean super kid. Or Korean super boy, I should say. Sportsnet. And on there as well. Alright. So that's good to go. Broadcasters are all set up. Alright. So the next time that I see you guys, it will be for UFC on ESPN Choi versus Dawodu. A little bit of a weaker card, but hope you guys will join me for it anyways. Doo-ho Choi facing off against Dawodu in the main event. Kyung-ho Kang also on there. Jeon Kim facing Mackenzie Dern. Alright, so that's going to be it. I'm AZCloud21. Be sure to like and subscribe. I also just recently uploaded a video showing how to download and install mods on WMMA 5. So be sure to go watch that video if you're interested in that. But as far as everything else, I'll see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day.